It's really something how much we trust our memories. They feel so solid, like perfect recordings of our past.
They really do. But sometimes those recordings aren't quite accurate, maybe even show things that, well, that never happened.
Exactly. And that's what we're digging into today, right? This whole idea of false memories.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
We've got some questions here that explore how and why our memories can sometimes, lead us astray.
Okay, so the mission is to figure out why memory can be so tricky. Let's start right at the beginning. What is a false memory?
Well, put simply, it's remembering something that didn't actually happen, or maybe remembering a real event but in a really distorted way.
Okay, how does that even happen? How does the brain create them?
It's because memory isn't like hitting record on a camera. It's more like putting puzzle pieces together every time you remember something.
Reconstructive, you mean?
Exactly. Your brain rebuilds the memory. And that process, it leaves gaps. Gaps where errors or maybe outside suggestions can sneak in. Ah, okay. So, suggestions. Like someone asking a leading question. Can that actually change a memory?
Definitely. Because the memory is being rebuilt, it's quite vulnerable. The way you ask a question can sort of nudge the reconstruction process.
So, like, give me an example.
Okay, imagine a minor fender bender. If I ask, how fast were the cars going when they smashed into each other? That word smashed.
Implies it was way worse than a simple tap.
Right. And that can actually make the witness remember it as being more severe. Their
Oh.
brain kind of fills in the blanks based on the stronger word.
Wow. That's it. Yeah. Which brings us to that famous study, the Lost in the Mall one.
Ah, yes. Elizabeth Loftus's work. Really groundbreaking.
What was the key finding there about suggestion?
Well, the amazing thing was showing you could implant a completely false memory. They told participants about childhood events, including a fake one getting lost in a mall.
And people believed it.
A surprising number did. They not only accepted it, they often added their own details, making the fake memory feel richer and more real. It just showed how powerful suggestion can be. That's pretty mind-bending. So is there a difference between just getting a detail wrong and, like, inventing a whole event?
Good question. Yes, there is. There's misattribution. That's when you remember something real, but maybe get the source wrong. Like you remember a fact, but think you read it somewhere when actually a friend told you.
Okay, got it.
Then there's fabrication. That's the lost in the mall type thing, creating a memory of something that just didn't happen at all.
Right, fabrication. Okay, that makes sense. And this obviously has huge implications for, say, eyewitnesses in court.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a major concern. Someone can be completely sincere, totally confident in their memory, but still be wrong. And that can have, devastating consequences in legal cases.
What about trauma? Does that make memory more reliable or less? There's a lot of talk about repressed memories.
That's a really complex area. Trauma can create very vivid memories, certainly. But the idea of memories being completely repressed for years and then returning perfectly intact, well, that's debated.
So false memories could potentially come into play there too.
Yes, unfortunately. Research suggests that false memories, even of traumatic events, can sometimes be unintentionally created, perhaps through certain therapy techniques that are highly suggestive. It's very nuanced.
Okay. And what about imagination inflation? I've heard that term.
Ah, right. That's the idea that simply imagining an event vividly over and over can make you feel more confident that it actually happened.
Really? Just thinking about it.
Yeah, the mental simulation makes it feel familiar, more fluent in your mind, which the brain can misinterpret as evidence of a real past experience. Imagine picturing yourself winning a childhood race you didn't actually win due it enough, and it might start to feel like a real memory.
That's wild. And neurologically, the brain treats these false memories like real ones.
Largely, yes. And imaging shows similar areas activating when someone recalls a true memory versus a false one, especially the emotional and sensory regions. That's probably why false memories feel so true to the person experiencing them.
So if they feel real and look similar in the brain, how do we guard against them? Are there safeguards?
There are. Particularly in legal and therapeutic contexts, there's a lot more awareness now. Interviewing techniques have been developed like using open-ended questions, avoiding leading prompts to try and minimize the risk of implanting or distorting memories.
It seems like understanding this changes how we should think about, well, everything. Education, therapy, even AI.
It really does. It touches on how we learn, how therapists interpret patient stories, maybe even how we could build AI that has more reliable memory. It underlines that memory is fundamentally fragile.
So the big takeaway here is memory isn't a vault. It's more like a story we rewrite each time we tell it, and it can be influenced.
That's a great way to put it. It's fallible. Which leads to a final thought for you listening. Knowing how easily memory can bend, how does that change your trust in your own recollections or the stories others share?
Definitely something to think about. Our personal histories might be a bit more flexible than we assume.